A very good afternoon and welcome to Solent Sports News. I'm Neil and this is your 1:30 Bulletin. Southampton players were seen practicing in Staplewood ahead of their Premier League game against West Ham this weekend. There is some positive news for the team as Tino Livramento was seen practicing after his long-term injury. With only 10 games left in the campaign and the team fighting relegation, they would be looking to find their best form to survive the drop. It was a historic night in the UEFA Champions League for women's last night as the Arsenal made it to the Final Four by seeing off Bayern Munich. Here to tell us more about what made this fixture so historic is our football reporter, Liu.
Well, Neil, the Emirates was absolutely rocking as Arsenal reached their first semi-final in 10 years. Apart from the fact that the Arsenal ladies won the match, it was inevitable that the stadium had such an atmosphere, with a record 21,307 in attendance, the most ever for a Women's Champions League match in the UK. This is testament to the fact that in 2022, women's sports had the most views it's ever had in its history. Regarding the football in particular, the 2022 UEFA Women's European Championship was instrumental in increasing the attention that the women's game has received. It has even reached to the point where women's games are played in football clubs' main stadiums, such as in Arsenal's game yesterday, as well as the Saints ladies right here in Southampton. However, unfortunately, some women's teams still are not fully satisfied, with West Ham slamming the club for not giving them the opportunity to play at the London Stadium, prioritising the under-18s for their Youth FA Cup semi-final. So it's still not perfect on the women's football scene, but there are positive signs and we do look forward to the developments that will take place in the future.
Well, thank you for that, Liu. Very, very interesting facts. Things just seem to go from bad to worse for Tottenham. Managing Director Fabio Paratici, I beg your pardon for the pronunciation, may have to step away from his role as FIFA extend his suspension to have worldwide effect. The Italian was found guilty of false accounting. It may be the national break, but the controversy regarding referees is something that is never too far away from the lips of football fans. Bruno Fernandes recently pushed a linesman, and Alexander Mitrovic also got sent off for his conduct toward the referee. For the referee, Keith Hackett said more firm approach needed.
You have to have a line that is quite strong. That is a line that understands the cascade down to grassroots level. At Premier League, the guys have got security people around. From my point of view, I've always believed very strongly that players should never make any physical contact with the referee. And as a result of that, if they'd have done it in my day, they'd have got a straight red.
Lewis Hamilton warns fans that it would take Mercedes the rest of the year to close the gap to Red Bull. The 7-time champion finished 5th in Saudi Arabia but still has many complaints over the state of his car. He will be hoping to improve on the results at Melbourne this weekend. The number 1 seeded doubles pairing go crashing out of the Miami Open. Brit Niels Koepke and his Dutch partner lost in the third superset tiebreaker in the quarterfinal against Santiago Gonzalez and Edouard Roger Vaseline. The Open continues today with the 2021 US Open champion Daniil Medvedev in quarterfinal action. World number 11 Yannick Sinner reached the semi-finals of the Miami Open after beating Emil Ruusuvuori in straight sets. The Italian beat the Finn 6-3, 6-1 and will either face world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz or Taylor Fritz in the next round. Moving into some cricket, the small island nation of Jersey are looking to make history. They are trying to reach the World Cup, 50-over World Cup for the very first time. The Channel Islands side set a target of 214 runs for the host nation Namibia to chase in the second ever one-day international match. Jersey batsman Jonty Jenner scored 76 from 96 deliveries. The African side are currently 90 for the loss of 2 wickets after 15 overs. The Indian Premier League is set to begin tomorrow as the defending champions Titans host MS Dhoni's CSK. England Test captain Ben Stokes will make his debut with CSK despite speculations of him pulling out of the tournament due to workload. Big Ben, however, will have to compete with fellow Englishman Moeen Ali for that all-rounder spot in the 11. England fast bowler Jofra Archer could return to the England Test team for the Ashes in July. The Sussex man was out of any cricketing actions for the last 17 months. Archer will feature for the entire season for the Mumbai Indians in the Indian Premier League, but Sussex coach Paul Fabre has said that the fast bowler will be straight thrown into Test action without any practice in the longest format of the game. Hampshire-based franchisee for the 100 Southern Brave have drafted New Zealand star batsman Devon Conway and Australian star Tim David. The two T20 specialists will be in action for the Southampton-based team for the England cricket's flagship event, the 100. In the darts, Gerwyn Price is seeking his third successive win in Berlin tonight. He faces Peter Wright in the quarterfinals of the Premier League, and this follows back-to-back wins against Michael van Gerwen and Chris Dobie last week. He claims his recent good form is down to his newly adopted gluten-free diet. Two-time world champion Anthony Joshua seeks redemption as he faces Jeremy Franklin on the 1st of April. Joshua said that should he lose to the American, he will retire from the sport following 3 losses from his last 5 outings. His previous 2 have ended in defeat, piling the pressure on his upcoming fight. The Sacramento Kings have ended the longest playoff drought in NBA history. The Kings beat the Portland Trail Blazers 120-80 to clinch the playoff berth. They become the 3rd team in the Western Conference to clinch the postseason berth. This now ends their 16 years wait to reach the stage. And that's all for us from here. Please do join us at 4:30 for our final bulletin from the Masters course of 2023. Goodbye.